Good evening, Carew and Nikki. It's Wednesday, the 7th of March, and actually there was a list of things, Nikki, that I made relating to your last video that I didn't get a chance to respond to because I did the bizarre and slightly academic timeline video. So to start off with, you're talking about the auction that you're doing, all the photos. Sounds really cool. If you have a link to any of them, I'd be interested in seeing them. It'd be kind of cool. Let's see, you mentioned Carew's video, and he was talking about the food that his wife was cooking, and you know, maybe I'm just childish, but I actually when Carew did that video, I was struck by the fact that the discussion was about nuts and tarts. I don't know. It seems like there's something you could work in there, but yeah, like I said, especially when you're fasting and you have nuts and tarts, it seems like it's counter to the whole spirit of fasting anyway. At least you didn't have nuts in your tarts, but then again, it's just me. The question of chickens as pets, I agree with you completely, Nikki, that urban chickens are pets. It doesn't matter if you're eating their eggs. But I have to disagree with you about organic eggs, because my wife, not my wife, Linda, my sister, you know that person, you know, Linda and Brad have obviously a farm, and they have lots of chickens, and my mom tends to take care of their chickens. Probably she dotes on the chickens a little bit too much, but I gotta say that the eggs from Linda's chicken are just so much better than store-bought eggs. I mean, there's a richness to the flavor, and I don't know if I can explain it. And you know, I'm not a food snob either. I'm really not a food snob. But then again, I grew up drinking whole milk and that kind of stuff, and I kind of noticed the difference. So I really do like organic or local free-range chicken eggs better than store-bought eggs. I really noticed the difference. You mentioned my shoes. Was it my shoes or Carew's shoes? So when you said somebody with ugly shoes, were you talking about these shoes, my mythical shoes, or were you talking about, by the way, this shoe has a guitar pick pocket, so the guitar pick comes out of the pocket of the shoe. I mean, these are cool shoes. Or are you talking about my Vibram 5-finger shoes, which I gotta say, once again, I absolutely love these shoes. These shoes are awesome. I have had them over a year, and I've walked probably literally hundreds of miles in these shoes, probably close to 1,000 miles in these shoes. I use them when I work out every day, and when I first started wearing them, I felt a huge difference in my feet. Have I already been over this? I can't remember. It made my toes feel better. It stretched my toes at first, and I felt the workout. I couldn't wear them for a long period of time last year, and now I wear them all the time, and they're super comfortable. And I actually bought a second pair of them as well that are black to wear in the winter. And I like Carew's. That said, yesterday I ordered a new pair of shoes that are, so there's this whole movement in running called minimalist shoes. You're probably aware of this. And the Vibram 5-fingers were kind of made them hip. But Merrell makes a minimalist shoe that's not a 5-finger. And I bought a pair of those in leather because when we go to Wales, I wanted something like that to wear, but I didn't want, I was a little bit worried about being too, did I already say this? I can't remember if I made a video about this, being too different in Welsh. I'm okay being completely different in my own society, but I don't always understand the meanings of the transgressions when I'm in another society, so I'm a little more careful about that. So finally, the last couple things was relating to the dreads. So I'm missing the dreads. I gotta admit, I am missing the dreads. I enjoyed having them. I'm not like actively missing them every day, but lots of people have come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe you cut off your dreads." That's been overwhelmingly the sentiment. But what I've done, now Nikki, I'm sorry about this, but I made a private video to Karoo before this because I was keeping the secret from Sarah about my mixed emotions about cutting off the dreads, and Karoo recommended some possible solutions to try to fill the gap that was left by the lack of dreads. And so the first thing that I did actually was I bought a necklace. This necklace, and I don't know if you can see this, but this little thing here is actually a bearing from a skateboard and somebody gave to me, and I actually wore it around my dreads for the last year or two, and it has a really cool sort of worn look to it. And so I bought just a cheap cloth necklace and put this bearing on the necklace so it would be near and dear to my throat. So that's kind of one thing that I've done to mitigate the missing dreads. The second thing I did was and Karoo recommended this, I bought a couple of hats, and I just got these hats today, so I was going to show them to you. And the first one I got is this this Wool Ergo Dito, a Dito style hat. And this is actually a really nice hat. I bought nice hats online, and I like this hat. But I was thinking that in the summertime, this hat's going to be too hot. I'm really not going to want to wear this in the summertime. But I kind of dig this hat. I don't know if you guys like it or not, but I'm really happy with it. And the second one I got is a more kind of traditional hat. It's a straw hat that I can wear in the summertime, and it's sort of an older style hat. But I like this hat a lot, and it's funny because I was wearing this hat, and Garrett said to me, John Butler has a hat just like that. John Butler Trio, musician that I like. And I was like, ooh, you're right, I didn't even realize that. Which is a little bit disconcerting because John Butler used to have dreads and cut them off. And then he wears a hat like this now. And I didn't intentionally do that, but I seem to be following in his footsteps, except I'm not a famous, uber-talented musician. So anyway, I'd like to know what you guys think of the hats. Now, I do want to mention, Nikki, that you were saying that I'm actually, I'm kind of hot now that my dreads are cut off. And, I knew that. Why do you think I had dreads? It's always been a burden for me to be so hot, especially, I hang out with Karoo and all the women are hitting on me, and he's always jealous. And, Sarah's always jealous because the women are always hitting on me because I'm so hot. So, I try to keep a scruffy beard because, scruffy beards turn off women, and, or do something to mitigate my hotness because it's just so overpowering. And the dreadlocks were pretty effective at that. So now I'm just going to have to find something else to mitigate the hotness. Yeah. I think I'll end right there. Still dead.